elven warrior greets...
We are on Sion.
Hush! The ancestor speaks.
She places a hand on her arm.
Ah! It fades. It must be whole. Then the ancestor can speak freely. No, the armor must be...
My baby, my girl, there you are.
Mother!
My dearest friend, the one who saves me. Oh, Sabine, we must speak. Too long do I keep silent. Too long do I wait. No more.
Sahela pats your right arm with a warm, motherly smile. But then her fingers run across the names tattooed upon your skin, and her blind eyes see it all. She pulls her hand back as if scalded, shock temporarily overpowering her.
My child, what is wrong?
These names, they're the names of the dead, of the scions of our people. All names, all. Do you not remember Sebil?
You are the prime scion.
You're like I am, only far greater. I am but a limb, a branch where once there were many. You are the heart. You are the hope for our new homeland, the promise of our future, the very reason we do not give in to despair. You're confused, you're conflicted, and all because...
Her darkened eyes scour your body with an uncanny intensity.
All because of this.
She reaches for your cheek with a sure hand and softly traces your scar with her thumb.
Careful.
Such unspeakable horror, this thing. I see all now. I figure who you are. The one we fear. The needle in the night. The scion that is scion killer. That is who you are, is it not?
Flashes of blood-red lightning, the needle piercing so very deeply, memories of murder, again and again and again.
Forced, but a killer still. You cause much grief. Diliana, Kuma, Silius, Mindaran, all the many others on your long, lean arm. Dead friends. They are dead because you run away. They are dead because you do not want to be the heart. Your fear is how Roost captures you. Your fear is how they scar you. The scar makes you kill scions. Without scions, all elves die. If all elves die, the fault is yours.
She grabs you brusquely, forces her face close to yours.
You remember. My blind eyes make you see.
You can't but look into the murky whites that are her eyes. A moment's trepidation, then it all comes flooding back. You're the prime scion, destined to be the new heart that pulses at the center of all ancestor trees. But the great mother tree speaks of death and domination. You hate her. You flee from her, only to end in a strange land among unkind strangers. First Roost, then the dreaded Master.
All is forgiven if you do right by your kin.
You are the greatest of us all, the prime scion. We need you. You must go to the nameless isle where the mother tree roots.
She is sick with fog that undid so many. She is dying. We've need of a new mother. Of you. This is vengeance. The one who forced you to kill wants all scions dead. If you become the mother, new scions rise and he is defeated.
You dare refuse? You are still a killer of elves? You would doom us all!
Bind that wound that it does not fester.
Sahala embraces you with a palpable sense of relief.
The nameless isle awaits. The Great Mother calls you with every breath of wind that rustles through her leaves.
Heed her call, Sabine. It rustles for you. You are a new mother to us all. The heart that beats in our every chest.
And here there is need of you too. Thank you for helping me. Without you, I am already dead.
You save us all. My girl is back. Our scion is back.
I know what you need, and I can help you. We can help you.
She crouches down, placing a hand on the earthen ground.
Can you hear them? Their roots stretch beneath us, even now.
Heal your wounds. You need
Yes, they are cut down, destroyed and defiled. But our roots run deeper than any know. Our roots cross the world many times over. I will link you. You will hear them. They will feed you. Increase the source in you. Increase the power.
She leans toward you, her veiled eyes directed toward the ground. The slightest of smiles plays over her lips, then vanishes.
A space inside you clears. You have room for more source. You have room for more everything.
bind that wound.
You have room for the whispers of the trees. Hold your hand to the ground. I hold my hand over yours. We breathe together. We call the spirit of the trees to us. Close your eyes. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale.
With each in-breath, the voices flutter in, whispers at first, then gentle murmurs like water over rocks. The wind of the voices enters you as you and Sahala breathe together. It travels down your throat, into your belly, around your heart. Suddenly, your blood runs icy cold, then warms again. Each breath makes you stronger. The voices fortify you, quicken your pulse, make a space in your heart where, yes, a great power can inhabit you. You exhale, and the voices, all but one, no louder than a whisper, flutter away. The space within you remains.
It is the voice of the trees, of the mother. It will remain with you now. I hear it too, beautiful and strong. Yours will grow if you let it. It will shrink if you do not. We are connected now, you and I. You and all our kind.
I give you something too. A thanks.
Take this spear. It destroys evil. It helps you. You help us more than you know. We make arrangements. We travel soon. I must meet someone who can help us. I say no more than this, but I do wish you good luck. And perhaps we meet again someday.
I've never felt so alive.
You feel newfound powers of the Source course wildly through your body. Deep inside your soul, your God calls for you. It would be wise to meet with your god again by performing the Meister's ritual, here or in Siva's vault.
Or not, I fight.
Hush!
She places a hand...
Ah! It fades. It must be whole, too. My prison, it is said to be a hollow place. No, not my... A well...
She grasps her...
You do not ask. It does not like your questions.
ready.
I need aid!
The spirit of a dwarf frowns at you, suspicion drawing the lines of his face deep.
I don't hear any pickaxes! No shovels! Where are my lazy diggers? We can't be wasting time! The Empress will have me head, and then all of yours! Haven't you seen the excavation site? There's real treasure there. Bones of the beast. The site's close. It has to be. There's more stones to break, more earth to turn. We need to get there.
It's still there, Quercus. Do you think it'll ever leave us in peace?
You are running through a barren landscape. Brambles and weeds scratch at your ankles. Your heart is pumping acid, but you can't stop. Something catches you around the chest and you fall. The roughed ground scrapes burns into the flesh of your bare arms, your knees, your face, you as you skid to a stop. Footsteps approach. That's the Scion, a rough voice calls. Kill him.
Oh, lucky find.
Be ye warned, beyond lies death. The divine order guarantees it. Heed the word of the White Magister. Turn ye around.
Strange.
Ow! Looks like we're really not welcome here.
Help me! Careful. It might still be here. I think...
Ow! Looks like we're really not welcome here. That looks dangerous, but maybe I can disarm it. I should neutralize this thing before it does damage. Ow! Looks like we're really not welcome here.
careful. It might still be here. I think I'm...
That's a hell of a way to express it.
wonder what this does. If a device breaks in a cave and nobody is around to complain, did I really break it?
Is that... Oh, void. It is a shrieker.
Something harm this horror.
The statue looms in the shadowy darkness of the cave. A clear aura of sadness shrouds its stony face. At first you think it's crying. A closer look shows the welling tears to be water dripping from the cave ceiling. As the tears dampen your fingertips, the stone face seems to smile sadly at you for just a moment. Maybe you imagined it. Perhaps it was a trick of the light. Carved from unfamiliar metal in an alien style, this mysterious object yet glows with a pulsating inner light that is familiar to you. The unmistakable brilliance of source. Carved from
Whoa, what was that?
Those Magister... I could help them. is not the time for that.
The Magister wipes his blooded face with a grimy rag as he strides towards you. Eyes narrowing with suspicion, he halts several feet away, one hand on the hilt of his weapon.
And you are? Nice try. I guess you prefer to answer the hard way, and I'll pose the same question to you as I did to the Voidwoken.
his foot, arms crossed tight across his chest.
Why are you wasting everyone's time? Get to the site before the Empress sees. Haven't you seen the excavation site? There's real treasure there. Bones of the beast. The site's close. It has to be.
Folding his arms across his chest, the Magister stares at you with baleful eyes. One by one,
Your end comes, sorcerer, just as it came for them and for me. Friedemann guided the excavation rightly. Soon, Dallas will use the Aetherin on you. And then you will be the sorcerer no longer.
he says nothing, only twists his lip bitterly as he echoes, pointing at the dead.
The Aetherin. What an incredible discovery.
The pedestal seems empty, as if it once supported something powerful. You surmise that this was once the resting place of the Aetherin, until it was torn free and borne away. If this is what Dallas was looking for, then she has claimed her prize.
This must be where the Magisters found the Aetherin. I've never seen anything like this workmanship.
The stone relic pulls on your consciousness. You feel the tendrils of an ancient hunger trespassing within your soul, seeking something, something you have. Source. The stone relic, as your fingertips brush the cool stone, you feel the depths of your being crack open. Your power flows from you into the relic, yet a reverse current flows back into you with a new power, a different power. A sharp electrical shock repels your hands from the stone and sends you staggering backwards.
Mask of the Shapeshifter. That's something I want to craft. And fast.
You are you, but more. You are another, but not. You look to your hands, your belly, your feet. Flesh you don't know, molded into unfamiliar shapes. You cradle your aching head, where another's memories and wisdoms mix with your own. Your fingers trace a line from your head to your face, feeling not the creases of the mask, but the porous surface of new skin. You lower your arm, blink twice, and step forward in this new guise.
Well now, how's my favorite god woken?
Ifan looks at you askance, then doubles up, laughing. He wipes tears from his eyes and stutters to speak, but he can't stop laughing enough to do so.
Oh, she was a fine one. You see there, she writes like a cottage innocent, but the truth is, it was she who stole everything from the chems. And she wrote that whole book to cover her tracks, so nobody would look for the missing gold anywhere near her. She never even met Roost, though she paints quite an accurate picture of his, bedroom antics.
And with that, he's laughing uncontrollably again, waving you away with both hands. Ifan smirks and shakes his head.
I'll spare you the tall tales we usually tell. When a new cub joins up with the lone wolves, we interrogate them. Then, a very complex equation decides their new moniker. I don't remember all the questions, but I remember enough to give you a lone wolf name if you want one. So tell me this, which of these scenes attracts you the most?
Ifan nods and raises his eyebrows, a slight smile brightening his face.
And then, target in sight? What's your preferred execution method? Right.
Ifan scrawls something on a little piece of paper and hands it to you. On the page in thick black letters is written Silver Feather.
Not as pant-wettingly fearsome as Silverclaw, but not bad. Not bad at all. An old lone wolf colleague of mine in disguise. Callow. He's hunting Godwoken, but don't worry. I didn't tell him our little secret. Poor fellow'd have an attack of the bloody flux if he knew what was really going on.
Ifan bites his lip and laughs.
That'll be tough for you to say without any teeth. But be my guest. Give it a whirl. Don't worry. I'm not going to hand you in for the bounty. Sure, You could do the very same to me. I think we should know who hunts us, and why. Just play it cool. We go in, we get answers, we leave. Nothing more.
From the glint in his eye and the wicked smile he wears, you can tell he speaks in jest.
All right. It has the potential to get messy. Very messy indeed. But I've got your back if you've got mine. I'm from the deserts of Mezd originally. My parents died when I was very young, no more than a cub. They were spice merchants, killed by bandits as we were trading on the forest roads. The elves nearby saved me afterwards. They found me hiding in a wagon and they took me in.
Ifan bites his lip, hard enough to draw blood.
They were my home until I was old enough to join the Order. Mother Melody always said I'd have a hard life. She saw it as fact, since I was born under the waxing moon. Ah, a lively one. Generous and high-spirited. I've been striving my whole life to prove mine wrong. To, zero success. So far. For sure. Always carry a snack.
Ifan reaches into his tunic pocket and pulls out a strip of dried raw meat. He takes a tiny bite and offers the rest to you.
Now, what else do I have to share?
Ifan rummages around the roll-down tops of his boots and grins in victory as he plucks a single mushroom from the folds.
Aha.
He hands you the mushroom with great ceremony, bowing as he holds it aloft.
Oh, I wouldn't. This one's not for eating. But I'll tell you, it comes in handy if you're dining with someone who really needs to lose their life. And soon.
Ifan smiles and looks around before reaching high into his sleeve and pulling out a tiny herbal wrap. The unmistakable scent of Drudenay hits you as he holds it out to you.
The last weapon in the lone wolf arsenal. You know, for after the toughest jobs.
He winks and tips his fingers to his temples before loping off.
Well now, how's my favorite god woken?
He barks a laugh, teeth bared.
Look, I'm a simple man. Give me work I understand, good company, open skies above me, and a boozy night in a tavern now and then. I'll be content. Only difference between being in the Order and being a lone wolf was that way back then I really believed in something, but it didn't exactly pay off. I mean, has belief ever paid off for you?
He grins wider and laughs, but the good cheer doesn't quite reach his thoughtful eyes.
You've a heart as soft as a chicken's knee, just like mine.
His eyes glitter as he stands tall to tell the story, hands waving expressively. You can see it's a story he's used to telling, one he enjoys weaving for an audience.
So, underneath the tavern in Driftwood, there's a place I feel right at home. A delightful little hive of scum and villainy. A few months back, I was relaxing down there after a job. Just a hint of Drudenay. You know, a hint. All of a sudden, a tiger prowls in. I jump up, but everyone else is just ignoring it. And then he picks up my scent. His eyes turn blue, and he leaps to pounce on me. A fury of claws and teeth. I flip the table and start scrambling for my crossbow. Nowhere to be found, and by now, the tiger's right on top of my eyeballs. So I do the only thing I can think of. I summon Afrit, my soul wolf. And now everybody reacts. Screaming, scrambling around, pelting for the stairs, drinks flying everywhere. And that pesky tiger? Nowhere to be seen. Turns out it was Drudenay messing with me. Stronger stuff than I'm used to. Also turns out some people don't appreciate spectral wolves tearing up the place. So some people called magisters on me. Well, it's guarded by a grouchy-seeming dwarf named Papa Thrash. But he's a real sweetheart once you get to know him. I love that password of his. Open minds and closed fists.
Ifan smiles and salutes at you.
Pray, speak.
He sighs, rather dramatically.
Oh, perhaps that's because I don't quite enjoy broaching the subject. If I must. The long and short of it is that I was banished because I was found in bed with a demon. Because I invited her in, of course. How else? You clearly have a hard time understanding all this, so let me paint you a picture. I am a prince of the House of War. There are others with that title, but none of them are the Red Prince, the jewel in the crown of the Empire. I lived in the Forbidden City, a vast complex of palaces that houses the royal family and its servants. No others are allowed to enter it. As for myself, I was never allowed out. That is the price I paid for my genius. I was too valuable to be exposed to the dangers of the outside world. All the wars I won, and I won them all, of course, I won from the comfort of sofas. Bring me information, and I will deduct, then instruct. From amid the ultimate opulence of my quarters, I expanded and very much ruled the Empire. I had it all. And frankly, I got bored. Not the word I would have chosen, but you understand my point. I did not suffer the boredom of some spoiled brat. Mine was the absolute absence of challenge. The longing not simply to watch the horizon, but to journey towards it. If I could not experience the joys of the world beyond, I had to bring the world to me. Miraculous what a sorcerer can do with a little arcane lore. I summoned demons, the most dangerous game in the world. But they knew they met their match in me, and so we conversed. We drank wine, we played chess. Converse with demons, and you learn of the shadows behind creation. Drink wine with them, and you have visions of worlds beyond worlds. Play chess, and you know that one wrong move is certain death. My mind rejoiced. Now for the body, I reasoned, so with a certain succubus I spent nights that would surpass your understanding. So you do comprehend. I spent a whole year in the company of demons, every night atop the white library tower of my palace. It was my great study of existence. It was my supreme joy, even if...
He gives you a long, respectful look.
How unexpectedly shrewd you are. What happened next was simply unforeseen. One moonless night, the succubus that was my lover turned to me, fangs exposed. But I could tell from the glint in her eyes she wasn't bent on our usual fang play. There was no light in that glint. It was the darkness of the void, the wet darkness of spilt blood. And in short, I was afraid. I tried to move away, but it was too late. She was upon me. She had done it. She had outmaneuvered the Red Prince. Finally, I was vanquished. She went for my neck, quick as a charging cobra, but then suddenly it's as if time ground to a halt. Something deep inside me welled up, a power I never knew I had. She simply froze under my stare. Then she screamed. A scream so abhorrent its ripples caused birds to fall dead from the sky. People covered their ears in vain as they went insane. The Imperial Guard forced itself into my chambers and found me with the succubus still on top of me. I believe the phrase is caught red-handed. At first, I admit it was all rather tiring. I was, after all, marched out of my own empire, and I've been hounded by the odd assassin ever since. After that came the indignity of the collar and incarceration. But ever since we decided to be so bold as to bid our farewell to Fort Joy by any means, it's all been rather fun. Oh, I could complain about the food and the lodgings and the sheer barbarity of the common folk. But in truth, all of that fits within the larger frame that is adventure. Adventure is precisely what my life was missing. Yes, as long as that road eventually leads all the way back to my throne, that is. Ah, yes. the dream visions. I've been bombarded with a lot of grandiloquent prophecies that an analytical mind like mine is obliged to meet with a certain degree of skepticism. Were it not for the princess. Like all lizards, I give great credence to dreams, for I know them to flow not from the sleep-hazed mind, but from another plane of existence altogether. Sometimes, in that vast phantasmagorical chaos, two storm-tossed kernels meet and become a constant. The Red Princess is the secret of my soul. There is no doubt we are meant for one another. Meant for dragons. Ontologically speaking, where the return of the great red dragons is as yet but a possibility in the realm of Rivellon, it is already fact in the disarray of dreams. As if that ever was in doubt. Now, I don't blame you for being skeptical. It shows a penchant for logic. But logic, dreams, and prophecy make for an ill-tasting cocktail indeed. Bear with me, though. I'll make it taste sweet just yet. I can't say I've ever given them much thought. They're no more than an elven curiosity as far as I'm concerned, obsessed with the idea of becoming sentient bark. Wonderful material once chopped, though, I'll give you that. Just look at the Lady Vengeance. In the meantime, though, let us search for the Red Princess. I must find her.
Come on, let's keep moving. What, this old gaggle of weirdos? I don't know about home, but I do sort of miss the gang I travel with now and then. Crawler, Madcap, Papa Joris for sure. Musicians mostly. We all had our own stories, our own troubles, but when we were together and the music was with us, it was like none of that mattered at all. When you have people like that around you, you know, a family, even rain feels like sunshine. Oh, she's all right. A lot of bark, but I think she really cares about what we're doing. Better that than a sweetheart who'd sooner watch you walk off a cliff than shout, "Look out!"
The stone relic pulls on your consciousness. You feel the The stone relic pulls on your consciousness.
Yes. In the meantime, though, let us search for the red...
The stone relic pulls on...
Well now, how's my favorite god woken?
Ivan smiles and salutes. unusual tablet is marked on all sides with runic inscriptions that look like they were hacked into indecipherability with a chisel or similar instrument. As your fingertips trace these mutilated runes, your eyes flicker closed of their own accord. You see nothingness, vast, dark, and empty. You sense something ancient watching you, perusing you like a prison guard would watch a wayward ant scuttling across the floor of a cell. From within the endless emptiness, a voice hums into being and calls to you, God-woken. You sense an interest within the cold voice addressing you. Beyond the interest, you sense fangs, voracious hunger, a bottomless appetite that no sustenance could ever sate. You see your life flash before your eyes, every memory flitting by like a moth's wings at a lantern. The vision reaches the present moment and diverges into multiple strands, impossible to keep track of. Your brain aches with the effort of trying to keep up with the intelligence as it sifts through your every potential future. You see salvation and destruction and every shade of existence in between. And all of a sudden, it's over. Blackness rises once more, just as it was at the start. Eternal darkness and you. An electric feeling pulses in your fingertips, and a force field of some kind pushes you away from the tablet.
That was some kind of test. I'm really not sure whether I passed or failed.
The tablet seems to glow from within with a subtle light. Etched runes cover its surface. The markings feel familiar, but despite the depth of your study and learning, you have no idea what they mean. Your fingertips burn so hot, it feels like they are melting. An energy seems to travel between the tablet and your hands, sparking knowledge directly into your mind, as if you're reading with your fingers. Electrical sensations sizzle in your mind. You understand that the runes are ancient Rivellonian, the oldest known language. You feel the fragments under your fingers, An Lesru. You know not how, but you understand the meaning of these words with the very marrow of your being. One must rise. Then your fingers grow cold to the bone. Suddenly, you are just a person standing in a cavern, clinging to a stone tablet as if it were a life raft. The spirit's memory, in its madness, dances in your mind. You are a sensate, deaf and mute, but gifted with an unnatural ability. Dallis seeks you out and brings you here into the darkness. When the blindfold falls, Dallis bids you find and free a secret power. You close your eyes, and you feel the presence of a hidden truth. You point at it and open your eyes. You are pointing at Dallis. The hammer calmly bids you try again, then steps back into the shadows. You close your eyes once more. Now the vault before you sings to you. You raise your hand to it. It opens to your touch. From the vault, you take a sword. It's weightless, yet it feels extremely powerful. More powerful even than Dallis herself, and yet fragile. A hand falls upon your shoulder. A blade crosses your throat. Blood pours. Dallis whispers, "Good girl," and then all goes quickly dark. The little rat squeaks up at you inquisitively, beady little eyes full of something approximating intelligence.
Are you a poet? Do you know it? Do I show it? I write a rhyme in my spare time. It's about a bird, but I need a word.
He eyes you shrewdly, then sniffs with judgment.
Not what I was looking for. Now I'll bid you good day, boar.
Magisters, what are they up to?
The Magister looks you up and down with utter dispassion.
You should not be here.
The Magister's hand reaches back for her weapon.
Intruder! You shouldn't have come in, scum. Die!
The Magister looks you up and down with utter dispassion.
You should not be here.
The Magister's hand
Intruder! Die!
The spirit of a White Magister scowls at your presence.
Get away from me, sorcerer! Filth! You'll get nothing out of me. Nothing! What? No, wait. I'll tell you. We had orders to bring down the wall. They thought there was more to find beyond it. That's all I know, I swear.
Impressive. A barrel-filling machine for the oil, I believe.
From somewhere deep within the inner workings of the machine comes an irregular clanking sound, then a weak gurgle. Inoperable, it seems.
Another giant speaks, Quercus. No, never! I will pay it no notice. One of its troop has an air of nobility about it, but this one... Ugh.
What can I do for you?
From somewhere deep within the inner workings of the machine comes an irregular clanking sound, then a weak gurgle. Inoperable, it seems. The machine churns into life. Gears rotate and pistons hiss from somewhere within its metal housing. It settles into a slow metallic chug, ready for the next lever, perhaps. The machine churns into life. Gears rotate and pistons hiss from somewhere within its metal housing. It settles into a slow metallic chug, ready for the next lever, perhaps. There is a sudden shriek of grinding metal. From somewhere deep within the inner working, the machine churns. It settles into a slow metallic chug. Ready for the next. The machine churns and it settles into a slow metallic chug. The machine churns into life. Gears. The machine rattles, grinds, and hisses for a protracted moment, building in intensity. Then settles down into a steady mechanical thrum. Functional by the sound of it.
It's working. Oil barrels. Not a careful excavation, it seems.
Your footsteps fall into a heavy rhythm, like a pickaxe striking stone. A dozen pickaxes working in labored unison. Your hands feel empty. Why isn't there a pickaxe in them, joining the crew? The steady rhythm of the pickaxes is drowned out by a sonorous growl. The fire is not subdued so easily. It pushes in from all sides, a devastating press of heat and ash.
Your will is too weak to resist mine. If you want true power, then seek out every piece of the Devourer's armor. I can grant you majesty beyond compare. Go to the land without a name. Find the mark of the dragon worshippers.
A symbol materializes above you, a broad arrowhead made of flames. The voice and vision disappear, but a cold presence lingers nearby. An invisible gaze weighs upon you. Your footsteps, your hands, the steady rhythm of the pick. The fire.
Your will, I can.
A symbol, the voice and vision disappear.
I've seen places like this in books. Never thought I would see something like this in reality.
A long and glorious litany of gruesome murder plays out before you, but all of it is underlaid with a yawning chasm in your heart, a deep and desperate yearning to be loved.
This is the archaeological discovery of a lifetime. What a way to die, down here in this darkness. Poor soul. Strange. I've never seen anything strange. I've never seen anything like this before.
Rallic. I used to pray to you when I was young.
Huh, Zantedza, the goddess of mirth, worshipped by imps. The god of the orcs, Vrogir.
Blessed Zolstis, an elegant god for our elegant people.
Duna, the stoutest of the seven. No wonder the dwarves pray to him. Tyrsendilius, worshipped by my people.
The curious sculpture comes alive as you reach out to touch it. It thrums with power and throws flickering, dancing shadows against the walls. The carving is covered in strange glyphs that feel oddly familiar. They surround a gently glowing stone that makes you think of the night sky rolled into a ball. Trying to read the symbols, you hear a faint whispering at the back of your mind, as if you're listening to the echoes of a past age. Your mind swims, and, for a moment, the glyphs become clear. You read, "Our first lords babes with power glowed, our seconds born in blood that flowed. Our thirds young to the wind return, our fourths to glowing flames adjourn. Our fifth lord's cubs with minds were blessed, our sixths had brawn beyond the rest. Our seventh's brood spread from earth to glen, and thus no king shall rise again." You try to hold your focus as the whispering echo fades, but the letters waver, contorting and merging until they're nothing but meaningless glyphs once more.
A riddle from the past, or maybe a riddle about the past. It's Amadia, the mother of wisdom. Well, that wasn't right.
Relic. I used to pray to you when I was young.
Duna, the stoutest of the seven. No wonder the dwarves pray to him. Tyrsendilius, worshipped by my people.
Blessed Solstice, an elegant god for our elegant people.
The god of the orcs, Vrogir. Zantedza, the goddess of mirth, worshipped by imps. It's Amadia, the mother of wisdom. Well, that wasn't right.
Relic. I used to pray to you when I was young.
Duna, the stoutest of the seven. No wonder the dwarves pray to him. Tyrsendilius, worshipped by my people.
Blessed Solstice, an elegant god for our elegant people.
The god of the orcs, Vrogir. Zantedza, the goddess of mirth, worshipped by imps. It's Amadia, the mother of wizards. Well, that wasn't right. It's Amadia, the mother of wizards. Zantedza, the god of the orcs, Vrogir.
Blessed Solstice, an elegant god for our elegant people.
Tyrsendilius, worship Duna, the stoutest of the seven. No wonder the dwarves pray to him.
Relic. I used to pray to you when I was
that
young.
wasn't right.
The sculpture is covered in strange glitter. Something shifts within the sculpture, and you're knocked back by a sudden burst of energy. The glow from the columns surrounding the barrier fades, and the room is still. The sculpture is covered in trying to read the symbols. Your mind swims, and you read, "Our first lords babes with power glowed, our seconds born in blood that flowed. Our thirds young to the wind return, our fourths to glowing flames adjourn." Our fifth lord's cubs with minds were blessed, our sixths had brawn beyond the rest. Our seventh's brood spread from earth to glen, and thus you try to hold your focus.
It's Amadia, the mother of wizards. Tirce Dilius, worshipped by my people. Duna, the stoutest of the seven. No wonder the dwarves pray to him.
Blessed Solstice, an elegant god for our elegant people.
Huh, Xantedza, the goddess of mirth, the god of the orcs, Vrogir.
Rallic. I used to pray to you when I was young.
That's it, we're through. What in the name of Lucian's prize pig is going on here? I wonder what they did in life to deserve such a resting place.
The creature looks down from its perch, trembling. It crawled out of that sarcophagus as if it had forgotten how to move its limbs. It turns to you, and you see its face is covered by an intricate mask. From behind its unmoving lips, you hear a noise. It starts as a groaning, croaking chatter, but slowly becomes more distinct. It's speaking.
Mais Saravel te de larentu, Chamory?
The stream of noise cuts off abruptly. After a moment, you hear a jolting, lurching voice.
It wears the face of Tirce and Delius, but speaks the tongue of beasts. How cruel. I suspected the Seven Lords won the war after they locked me here, but seeing their faces on dumb creatures, a depressing confirmation. What is this senseless braying? I speak of no beast king. I speak only of the king. the eternal king of creation. The king against whom the Seven Lords rebelled.
Deep within your soul, you feel your god stirring at the sound of the voice. You can feel its anger and fear swelling inside you. The creature leans forward to get a better look at you, clucking and tutting under her breath.
It seems to be a simple form at its core, a source vat. A walking, unfortunately talking, source vat. Fascinating. I wonder how to extract the source from the vessel without...
She pulls back suddenly, recoiling in horror.
It is rotting. Almost imperceptibly, but it decays before my eyes. How long before you show signs of wilting, I wonder?
The god within you reacts, his emotions a cocktail of fury and fear. You hear his voice, demanding that you give him control, demanding your body obey his will.
Atira, you worm. An eternity locked away was too good for you. I should have seen you ground to dust and fed to the wind. Your heresies deserve nothing less.
The figure recoils, as if struck.
Sendelius! What happened to you? Did you truly fall so far?
Silence! It is your king that has fallen. He and all the other eternal cowards were flung into the void, and the power you were too scared to hunt has made me a god.
And yet here you stand, small, weak, decaying. I will not even need the Aetherin to grind you into the dust.
You feel your god freeze at the mention of this Aetherin, a cold terror settling in your chest.
Where is it?
Ah, of course you never found it. You always lacked imagination, my lord. I hid it in these very caves, although I can feel its distance now. Someone has uncovered it. Perhaps they intend to flay the godliness from you. No matter. Given your pathetic state, it is mine to collect at my leisure. As for that monstrosity you have made your shell, it was designed to die, and I think it is time that design were fulfilled. Do not worry. The source shall not be wasted. It will carry me from this tomb. It will bring me freedom at last.
The air suddenly feels thick, like it's grown musty after concealing a lie for so long.
So, the gods are liars. I can't say I'm surprised.
Everyone's got a past. We are who we are in this moment. That includes the Mighty Seven.
I wonder what they did in life to deserve such a resting place.
shoulders sag in relief when he's...
Thank you, friend. Couldn't scarcely think before you took me back to that place. Name's Rufus, former dig site chief and archaeologist. Currently a dead dwarf. At your service. Being dead's not very special. I'm more impressed he can talk to me. Oh, involved is an interesting way to put it. Bit of a story. But I suppose you got time? Damn cursed armor. Who strings a pile of bones together and lets it eat people? Empress paid me to dig up the bones of a dragon called the Devourer. Said they were the key to her ascension or something. I found what she wanted. She made him into armor, and when she wore it, well, said the beast started talking to her. Guess when bones start talking, it's better to leave. But the next thing I know, I'm a soul chained up to a pair of shoes. Suppose that'll teach me to be greedy, eh? I wish I knew. Would love to be in the hall with the rest of my kin. But I'm a man of action, not magic.
Communing with the spirit, you see a bright open yard. You cluck and scratch the ground in front of you, disturbing a delicious ant. You peck at the dirt, waddling past two magisters complaining about how difficult it is to catch a canary. But the spry insect skitters away, and the magisters think they have problems. Your beak hammers into the earth over and over, but the ant manages to dodge each jab. You let out a squawk of frustration and resume the chase. You finally corner the ant by a boot, plucking him from the ground with a cluck of satisfaction. Swallowing your prize, you look up into the grinning faces of the magisters. You feel hands reaching for you, grabbing you, and then there's only cold darkness. You step back, returning to your body in the cave.
Well now, how's my favorite god woken?
Ivan smiles and salutes at you. Magisters, be under no illusion. Quick work is imperative to our success. The Lady Dallis commands no less for this important dig.
That looks dangerous, but maybe I can disarm it.
sight for a while longer yet.
But Ma...
Surrounded by incompetence, I deserve a better posting. Bellwether, I need those reports, Captain.
Right away.
The Meister's back. The Meister's... She doesn't feel like playing.
Good find.
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her scales...
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you powerful enough to proceed? Of course, my supply has rather gone up in smoke. You can find more in the cloister woods to the northwest of Driftwood. Hardly a charming place, but it grows nowhere else. Then why, pray tell?
The Meister sits slumped in her chair.
What news? Blessed news! Now hurry. Gather the source...
No rest until the killer is found.
This must be the place Lohar mentioned. It looks unassuming enough.
The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch of her eyelids. She calmly opens her left eye, then her right.
What do you want?
The dwarf unfolds her arms and shoots to her feet.
All right, elf. Right glad Lohar ain't left us here to wither. Those brutes are taking their sweet time down there. I gotta send word soon. Who knows? Anything that gives away what Mordus has been up to. Probably got all sorts of tricks for covering his tracks, but the goons downstairs should sniff out something. That weird priest's been hanging around Lohar for ages. Now he's vanished. Poof. Those half-wits below will know more. Get to it then. But tell the lunkheads that Glenn has sent you before they bash your brains in.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as you don't do too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as you don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
What? I offer nothing
Then
less than
don't
the
come
whiskey
over.
king.
Not like you're buying anything.
Buying or selling? Capital. Good luck to you.
Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
together free. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Bishop Alexander was slain by singers. Culprits still at large.
Keeping it together free. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Queen Justinia executes 24 noblemen for insubordination.
Do anything that will protect against voidwipe.
I can toil aside fire, cold, and poison. Wind walking. God knows what'll stop those beasts.
Cold stealing.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, free. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was slain by singers. Culprits still at large.
Keeping it together, free. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Keeping it together, free. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, free. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Tell me, have you heard any news?
Nothing good. The Voidwoken are everywhere. Thank the Divine you're here to protect us.
Yes, of course.
Keeping it together, free. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Order to march against the ancient empire!
worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
You needing supplies? Anything more?
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Queen Justinia executes 24 noblemen for insubordination!
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
March against the ancient
Wouldn't you like to know?
Hear ye! Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was slain by singers! Culprits still at large!
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Justinia executes 2
Wouldn't you like to know?
for insubordination!
Tell me, have you heard any news?
Nothing good. Void Woken are everywhere. Thank the Divine you're here to protect us.
Yes, of course.
Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Was slain by singers! Culprits still at large!
Tell me, have you heard any news?
Nothing good.
Until later then.
Yes, of course.
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Bishop Alexander was slain by singers. Culprits still at large.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
I'll fish you good. No!
Right, Buffy. I'm just another useless elf. Might as well have rotted in the death box. What's he?
We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
I've spotted
You think
something.
a crowbar would open this thing? Huh? You got rocks knocking around that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Huh? You got rocks knocking around that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Huh? You got rocks knocking around that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Huh? You got rocks knocking around that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Huh? You got rocks knocking around that noggin of yours.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Huh? You got rocks knocking around that noggin of yours. You have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Huh? You got rocks knocking around that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking around that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
Ain't no rest for any dwarf in Driftwood. Not even me.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? What? You got rocks knocking around that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? What? You got rocks knocking around that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.